Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Greetings, welcome, and thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, and of course, so honored and excited to welcome you. So thanks so very much. In this week's episode, we're talking about defining your niche for your Reiki business. But first, of course, I want to talk about the upcoming Reiki Business Summit this November 22nd through the 25th, live online. That is indeed this Friday, November the 22nd, the first day of the summit. This incredible 4-day event brings together some of the best leaders on Reiki business, including Andrea Kennedy, Colleen Benelli, Mary Raposo, Pam Allen LeBlanc, Karen Cagg, Michaela Daystar, and me. Please do join us for 6 live presentations on important Reiki business topics with small group discussions and networking opportunities. I truly cannot wait for this amazing event, and I hope you join us. Learn more and register at standingstoneshealing.com/summit. Registration closes on Thursday, November 21st. So defining our niche is an important Reiki business topic and one that often gets a lot of questions. But what does it mean? What does it mean to define our niche? Your niche is your ideal client. So this is who you serve and how you serve them. You probably have heard the term niche before. Certainly you've heard the term ideal client. But you may also hear the term called a niche. And so when someone says a niche, they mean niche. Niche, tomato, however you want to say it, right? But why? Why is this such a popular marketing topic? Well, I prefer using the term ideal client to your niche. And this is how I refer to it in the Build Your Reiki Business program. Now, in the Build Your Reiki Business program, it's the world's most comprehensive Reiki business program. And I do talk quite a bit about your ideal client with lots of information on defining your ideal client. But again, you may hear it called your niche or your niche. Whatever you call it, it's important because this is who your audience is. It is who you are aiming to serve, and therefore it is who you are aiming your services, your products, your website, your advertising, and everything else that you do at. And so knowing your niche, your ideal client, your target audience is really important because it is going to impact all of your marketing in your Reiki business, the services you offer, the products that you create. So it's really important, and it really impacts all aspects of our Reiki business. But do you need one to have a profitable Reiki business? Is it true for Reiki business that we need a niche? No. But no, you don't need to have a niche to have a profitable Reiki business. You don't need to pick a niche in order to have a thriving Reiki business. But here's the thing. When you have a Reiki business in person, in a particular geographic location, the truth is that you really probably don't need a niche. The reason is that you are already restricted by geography. And so your Reiki business's reach is already narrowed by the sheer fact of geographic distance. So what this means is that your clients will typically, when you have an in-person Reiki business, your clients will typically come from a radius around your geographic location. And this radius depends upon your geographic location. But it's often up to 1 to 2 hours. Yes, you can have someone come outside of a 2-hour drive or a 2-hour commute to you for a Reiki session. That can indeed happen, and it is more common in more rural areas where Reiki practitioners are fewer and farther between. And let's just be real that depending upon where you are in the world, 2 hours is no big drive. Like that's the next closest town, versus 2 hours if you live in another geographic location that's more highly populated is a bit farther of a distance to go. So this limitation by geography does depend upon the geography. It does depend upon your location. But depending upon how far your clients are willing to travel is really what defines that radius of your reach for your Reiki business. So with an in-person Reiki business, you are already limited geographically. This means you don't have to, quote, niche down because your clientele is already limited. And again, depending upon where you are and how many other Reiki practitioners you are, you might be the only Reiki practitioner for a couple of hours. And so there's definitely no need to worry about a niche because you're already limited by your location. However, if you have a Reiki business in person in an area where there are plenty of Reiki practitioners, then having a niche can help you to differentiate yourself from other Reiki practitioners. So if you are an in-person Reiki business owner, you still may want to have a niche if you are in an area where there are lots of other Reiki practitioners, because having a niche will help you to differentiate yourself. It will help you to stand out, and it will help potential clients better know what you do specifically and how specifically you can help. So we'll talk about how to define your niche in a minute, but first I want to mention online Reiki business. Because if you have a distance Reiki business, you're not limited by geography. So whether you are online, whether your distance business is over the phone or however else you might conduct it. This is how I started in my Reiki business, was having a distance Reiki business on the phone. You're not limited by geography. And so this is where niching has the most benefit and makes the most sense. The world is vast and wide, and there are billions of people out there. And if we have a Reiki business, a distance Reiki business, where we can serve anyone in the world, if we don't pick a niche, then those billions of people don't know if we're the right person to help them. So defining a niche not only helps us to determine who our ideal client is, it not only helps us know who we're talking to, and it not only helps us know who we want to help, but it also helps our ideal client know that we're the person who can help them. So having a niche, defining an ideal client, is not only helpful to us and our Reiki business and our marketing, our services, our products, but it's also actually really helpful to our potential clients, because having a niche allows them to quickly and easily determine if we can help them. So, how do you define your niche? First and foremost, when it comes to picking your niche, please don't stress or worry about it. It is so common for new Reiki business owners to worry about picking a niche. And so oftentimes they feel pressure to pick a niche. And they feel like they have to pick a niche, like they have to choose who specifically they are going to help. But I believe that the best niching is something that actually happens organically from experience. So I believe that it's not so much that we, quote, pick a niche, that the best niches are not something that we, quote, pick or choose, but rather something that we naturally gravitate toward and that unfolds on our Reiki business journey. So what that means is that I want to encourage us not to worry about picking a niche and choosing a niche, but rather allowing who we focus on in our Reiki business to unfold as our Reiki business journey unfolds. One thing that I have seen is some marketing gurus encouraging people to pick profitable, quote, profitable niches. And so, for instance, they'll even have a list of the most profitable niches. And they're like, if you want to make money in your business, pick a niche on this list. But I don't think that's a good approach at all. If we are choosing who we serve based solely on who we feel is going to be the most profitable, then is our heart really in it? I don't believe that we're going to actually have a lot of success serving that niche, because it's not coming from a place of true desire to help, but rather it's coming from a place of, oh, well, this is profitable, so I'm going to serve these people because this is a profitable niche to serve. But once you get into it, your heart's not going to be in it. And let's be real, everyone. If our heart is not in it, it's hard enough having a business, running a business, operating a business when our heart is in it, because lots of challenges come up, things happen. It's a slow growth process. It's often challenging and daunting, and that's when our heart is in it. And so when our heart isn't in it, it's just going to be that much harder to gain traction, to weather the challenges, and to last in our business. And so when we look at a list of profitable niches and we say, wow, there are a lot of people who have diabetes, and diabetes is really on the rise. As a matter of fact, the rate of diabetes has doubled in the last few years. So, I should focus in my Reiki business on serving people with diabetes. Now that's niching down, right? And that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe it's even on some guru's list of profitable niches somewhere. But if you don't personally have an interest in serving people with diabetes and you're just niching down to serving people with diabetes because it's, quote, profitable, then it's going to be drudgery. Or at least I would think it would be. It would be for me, right? To serve people every day and talk about a topic that, you don't really care about, but the money's there. Or to create content about diabetes, whatever. I don't really care, but that's where the money is. So, oh no, I've got to create another post about diabetes or another video about diabetes, or oh man, here comes another client for another Reiki session wanting help with their diabetes. Oh gosh, whatever, they're paying me. So I think that if we don't really and truly want to serve that niche, then it's not going to be enjoyable for us. Or at least, let me speak for myself. I don't think it would be enjoyable for me. And indeed, we want to serve people and we want to help people, while at the same time not doing it from a simply profitable standpoint, because then it's going to be more of a challenge for us to sustain our business through challenging times. So I do believe that rather than, quote, picking a niche, defining a niche is better, in that it's something that we naturally gravitate toward on our journey, and we come to that niche out of an unfolding and a true desire, rather than picking something that sounds good. I also want to encourage us that our niche can change. So our niche can change. In my own Reiki business, my niche for years was life changes. I even still work with people experiencing life changes, particularly career and business changes. So my Reiki business has focused on life changes, and that very specific niche has really been career, and business changes have been the largest number of life changes I've worked with. I've also worked with people experiencing health diagnoses as a life change and breakups, but career and business has been the biggest in terms of that life changes niche. And so this niche was not something that I scratched my head over. It wasn't something that I sat down and said, oh, what will my niche be? I have to choose a niche. I feel the pressure to pick a niche. Oh, I need to pick something. It's going to be this. Nope. My niche was something that I was already very knowledgeable about, and something that had already been helping people with. So before I started my Reiki business, and during the first years of my Reiki business, I was a career coach. So that was my full-time job. I was a career coach for years, and I had a lot of experience helping people through life changes. And I gained a lot of knowledge about navigating life changes and the kinds of things to expect. And so as my Reiki business expanded, I realized in my Reiki business that I was doing the same things that I was doing outside of my Reiki business in my, quote, regular job. And so In my Reiki business, all of my clients were experiencing life changes, and I was able to use my previous experience helping them to navigate those life changes. Over the years, then, my niche shifted, and I had more and more clients coming to me for help specifically with starting and growing their Reiki business. And so, like with the life change niche, that unfolded organically. And there was never for me a sense of, oh no, I have to pick a niche. It just rather transitioned in that way. So this is the kind of niche transition that can benefit us the most. But I frequently see niche transitions where a practitioner feels pressure to pick a niche. They've been told that they need to pick one, and then they pick one where they maybe kind of have some experience, but that, again, they've been advised that it's profitable. So the worst is, again, when I see the gurus offering lists of profitable niches as though it's a good idea to just pick one of those. Because when someone does this, they typically don't have the personal interest in that specific niche or the experience or even the knowledge, honestly, to be effective in serving that particular niche. When we allow our niche to unfold and allow the process to develop on its own timeline, then we're not choosing something inauthentically. And it's not about the choosing or the picking so much as it's about the unfolding. Now, again, some niche shifting in our Reiki business is absolutely normal. And it's absolutely to be expected as our Reiki business journey unfolds. Because as our Reiki business unfolds, things change and we change too. And who we serve changes, our business changes, our interests change, who we are as people change. But especially in those beginning stages, I do really advocate simply offering sessions, simply serving people, and then using those experiences to see what commonalities your clients have, to see what people are coming to you for, to see what you gravitate toward, to see who you like helping the most, to see how you like helping and how you can best serve people, how you can be of the best service. So you may start offering distance Reiki sessions, and maybe you have experience as a nurse, and you find that a lot of your clients are also nurses because you're asking your coworkers, you're inviting your coworkers, and your coworker nurse friends are really gaining a lot of benefit. Well, lucky you, you also have experience as a nurse, and you probably have an interest in it too. And so serving nurses might be an excellent niche for you because you've got the experience, you've got the interest, and it's who you are serving in your Reiki sessions. And so that's what I mean by allowing that niche to define itself and to allow that niche journey to unfold rather than saying, oh, I've got to pick a niche. I have to pick something. So no matter what your niche is in your Reiki business, whether you're in person or distance or a hybrid combination of them or whatever your Reiki business looks like, of course, as always, I'm sending so many blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. And of course, as always, you are welcome to join us in the Reiki Business Collective Facebook group and tell us all about your niche at facebook.com/groups/ Reiki Biz, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.